You want to? It's okay. Let's see if you guys. Tell me when you're ready. You are watching. Welcome everyone to You Change Studios, where we host stories of heroes. What is that? Joy, you can have a seat. Um, so we're just getting ready and making sure everything is good. So you tell me, we good? We good? Okay, so I am LaShanna Alfred. I am the host of Stories of Heroes. Stories of Heroes is a show that I put on to now check this out. We live, right? So if stuff ain't right in here, yeah. So I'm gonna be stopping. So you're gonna see because it's kind of loud. So, and so again, live and in living color. And so again, when you do rehearsals and practice, out, things be cool until we start getting people in. So we have to make some adjustments, but it's all good. I don't want to over overlook the importance of today. So stories of heroes, what we do, I kind of move by, well, not kind of, I move by the spirit in the aspect of seeing who would be a good candidate, right, to come onto the show. I believe that uh, y'all, we got some disturbance over here, so just give me a second. Give me a second, but it's all good, right? Because that let me know God is up to something. Can y'all, yeah, God is up to something, right? I promise you. Whenever you start seeing or different things start happening, traffic jams, kids acting crazy, and your spouse or whatever start acting up or whatever, relationships going crazy, finances going crazy. I want you to practice looking up, right? Practice like rejoicing in the midst of those things, because those are things that let you know, that is something. It's something on the other side. So often we get stopped or paralyzed or handcuffed in the midst of stuff. Right? We too busy trying to understand some stuff that we don't realize. Wait, hold on. This stuff is designed to get me to where it is that I'm supposed to be. Oftentimes, I remember I used to say, "What is my purpose?" Right? I didn't understand my purpose, and nobody could tell me. But then I start going through some stuff. And then I realized, like, wait, hold on, this is my purpose. Because literally, you guys, everything that I'm doing now, right, the lives that I'm touching, I had to go through some stuff in order to be equipped to do what I do. And so if you find yourself going through, whether it's domestic violence, you survived it, you got a story. Whether you was the one acting crazy, if you survived that, you got a story. You know what I'm saying? And so whatever it is, that's what it's about, right? Not all superheroes wear capes, right? So the individuals that I would bring to you is everyday individuals who finally realized or finally woke up and said, wait a minute, I no longer want to live like this. I don't want to live in, a drama filled life. And so the individual that I have coming on today, she is the author of My Unique Journey. Her name is Unique Johnson. And when I spoke with her on the phone, I think I was sharing with you earlier, when I spoke with her on the phone, I was like, okay, her story is so impactful. I really didn't want to have a lot of guests on this particular show. So in the month of December, I will have the first Thursday, the second Thursday, and the third Thursday in December. We will have authors coming on and sharing why they wrote their book, the process of writing their book. So if you believe that you have a story to tell and you believe that you've been called to be an author, you definitely want to stay tuned because they will be sharing with you the process that they went through in order to write and ultimately publish their books. So without further ado, I want to introduce Unique to everyone. Welcome, Unique. Right? Y'all got me together? Man, don't be having me on my show looking. No, it's all good. It's all good, y'all. No, but it's, what's wrong? Okay. All right. So Unique. Y'all got my guests all uncomfortable and nervous and stuff. Nah, hopefully we made you comfortable, right? We lied, right? We lied and we lied. You said, are we live? I know, right? Are we live? Go ahead. Let's see if we live. We live. We real live? Oh, okay. We live. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to come on and share your story. I absolutely believe that the audience, the viewers, will get something out of your story. So let's just jump right in. You ready? You ready? Okay. So we just want to make sure mic check. Mic check. Mic check. All right. We're gonna be like salt and pepper. All right. So, all right, share with us your what when you first wrote this book, right? Oh, wait. Okay, listen. I will be giving away books. And so you'll have the number that'll be scrolling across the screen for those of you who want an opportunity to get the book. All right. And so the only thing I'll be asking, especially if you're viewing in from out of town, is just pay for the shipment, right? So I think that's like $5. You'll be able to cash app, whatever. But I want you to call in. The number is 419-214-9366. And that's the number I want you to call in if you have questions for Unique. Okay? And so we're going to go from there. So look, listen, it's just us, right? They're going to be eavesdropping on our conversation. But I want you to share with us what made you decide to even write the book?
So I am a part of a women's Bible study, and the person who puts it together has a publishing company, Stewart Publishing, which is Christian based. And we was just doing Bible study, and the word just told me, like, tell your story. Went from there.
Okay. And how long did it take you? See, this is the part where it just like irritates. No. So those who follow me know I brag about teaching people how to write their book in 30 days, right? I'm thinking I'm doing something, right? How long did it take you to write the book?
7 days.
7 days. 7 days. You know what that took? That took some dedication. Yes. 7 days. So what did you do? What was the process?
So I was given the word to complete the book in 9 days. That was my assignment. And every day when I got off of work, I would just pray and get at my computer. Go.
Okay. Every day.
Every day.
Every day. How long? Like how many would you write for hours? Would you write for like
it just depends.
Okay.
Like literally I really didn't write nothing down on paper.
Okay.
It was all just
typed up?
Typed up.
Okay.
I just sat there and what flew came out, that's how it came.
Okay. All right. So when you find yourself doing it like that, may be some things in the book you don't even realize you don't put in
there. No. I tell everybody, that book isn't me. Because what's in that book I will expose.
Oh, okay. All right, right. So it's a lot of you that may have a desire to write the book, right? Write your book, but you're afraid because you're afraid of offending people, right? You're afraid of what people may think. And so this is good. This is good, right? But I'm glad that you're in a space where you can now tell your story. So just share with us when you talk about, because you talk about racism, you talk about your experience with domestic violence. You talk about even being that young girl and going to school and, kind of sharing. Share some of your stories with us.
So the first part of the book is more so my just my childhood, coming from Belmont, going to Pickett School, predominantly all black, and transferring over to Holland Elementary, where I could be the only black person in the classroom, was like total culture shock.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so here it is, and I think a lot of times parents don't realize that. Do you feel like you was misunderstood? Did you feel like you was prepared for that shift?
I wasn't prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So at Pickett, I was a straight A student. I was right in the bubble. When I got there, I struggled. Like literally had to get a tutor in order to pass, and nobody did well. And we were known as the black.
Okay. Okay. And that's how they treated you?
Yeah, like literally we all sat at the same table.
All the black kids.
All the black kids. And I think I put in my book this thing like prison. Like on the yard at recess, you got black kids over here and everybody else playing, and we're over here playing.
Okay. Okay. How did that affect how you see you? As you grew up.
It didn't really affect me as I see me because I was still me. It just made me want to hurry up and get off.
Okay.
That's
okay.
So I started at Holland, then I went to Springfield. I started at Holland, then I left Holland, 7th grade was McTighe.
Okay.
So I was back with my neighborhood.
Okay. Okay.
At McTighe. And then the school district changed.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have went to Jones.
Okay.
And so we went back.
Okay.
And then it was more like yeah. Okay. But when I first started, it wasn't like my mom was literally drive from the country to build my community.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Because in your book, you talk a lot about like the different friends that you had, that you encountered. It seemed like that was really important for you.
The friends out there and the friends in the Belmont was
in the hood.
In
the hood. She don't want to say hood. My white friends and then my ghetto friends. You understand? Like no, I don't. I'm saying ghetto. I'm from Belmont too. No.
Okay. But it was a difference because my friends from out here, out here it was like they ghetto and they hood was like that ain't for real.
Right. Okay. I get it.
Like that ain't for real. Like y'all think they're trying to be something. Like I know real people that real do this.
Right.
It was just
But even in the midst of all that, you were an only child until
I was 12.
okay,
My mom had my sister when I was 12. Um, and prior to her having my sister, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
okay,
So, until my mother died, I
okay, okay, okay. When did your life take a turn? Is that when your life took a turn, or?
well, I had turns all through.
Mhm.
Like I said in the book, my mom, one of my cousins came to live with us from Cleveland. Her grandmother had passed, and her and her sister came here to live with one was with my aunt, the other with us. Sick, that was another change. So my mother was in and out of the hospital, in and out of the grandparents and mom. And then my cousin came to live with us, and he ended up moving in with us. We had everybody that came in and lived with us. Like my cousin was living with boyfriends, and they got into it, and he just basically came to live with us.
Okay, okay, all right. And so now here it is. You're 12 years old, don't this thing. When did you start dating or getting in trouble and all of that stuff?
Um,
Maybe you want to call it trouble.
um, probably like nine. Probably like
19. Okay, all right. Because I know you talked about domestic violence and all of that stuff. How did that start happening?
so actually, like, so the first, I was in the fourth grade, and had him and his friends hold me down while he punched me in my stomach.
Oh wow.
That was the reason for the hit me.
Oh.
Um, when school was over, so
Right. Okay.
yeah,
So nothing happened.
my mother went up there, and I was told to pack myself up to I don't return.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so now you're moving up. You're growing in your dating.
So I'm dating. This is probably like my junior, almost senior year, and I'm dating a guy. Um, the first the first incident was we were arguing. We was on freeway, and I'm on the phone, and the door opened up in the bedroom, and I look up, and it was him. And next thing I know,
Last month. But it was interesting because we had a panel of women who talked about domestic violence. And I'm curious to see, did you really look at your situation at that time of domestic violence?
no.
What you looking at that? He said no.
I never looked at any of my situations as domestic violence.
Okay.
Honestly, I just looked at it like I was getting into a fight with my boyfriend.
Oh, like when did you know? Like, wait, hold on. I survived domestic violence, or
It literally wasn't. It was literally like a month ago.
okay.
Why, man? I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm no survivor. They're like, no, I read your book. Like, you really are a survivor. And then it just dawned on me, like, I had a cousin who was murdered by her husband. And I have another cousin who murdered his wife. And I'm like, either one of them could have been me.
Right, right,
Like, it was that, it had got serious like that, that either one of them could have been me.
right, right. And I think, and that's the importance of this show, because oftentimes we don't realize what we're in until we've been exposed to something different. Like some people don't even think change is possible because nobody in their lives, right, has changed.
And I was one of them persons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I was one of them people, like, they'd be like, oh, yeah, such and such doing that. And I'm like, no, they came from this, and this, and they was doing this, and this. And, like, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Until I started going through my own process.
Right.
And then I started, like, no, you won't keep nobody in the box. That situation that you went through wasn't the end of the story.
Right, right. Because now you're married.
I'm married, almost 10 years.
Wow. Okay. Absolutely. Congratulations. And how many children do you have?
We have 3 daughters.
3 daughters. Okay. Okay. And so now, what would you say to make sure, you know what I'm saying? I don't really deal with innocent folks.
This is the thing. This is the thing.
No.
A lot of people assume
Uh-huh.
that I was selling drugs. Nobody can actually was the purchaser, and it was somebody else that was doing it for me.
Okay. Okay. Look at you. So you was a boss. Trying to act all cute. Y'all see?
Like, I've changed. I changed, but Belmont is always in me.
Right. That's that dirty.
It's in you, and you can't get away from it.
Right.
It's in you.
Right.
You just got to know how to maintain it.
Right. Absolutely. Because you do.
Started. I'll have my first speaking at the women's shelter, December the 27th.
Healing process for you.
Yeah, I had a lot of trust issues in my marriage. I had a lot of trust guards up, especially when you're used to being a single mother and being head of the household and loosening reins for somebody else to take.
Oh, ooh, that's good. I had to pause. Stay live. I had to pause. That's good. Absolutely. And so, all right. And so, how long were you single for a minute?
Yeah.
Before you got?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was single and I was getting myself back into church and back into, I wouldn't say church.
Okay.
Literally one day I was coming from work and I rode past his mom's house and I was like, man, I wonder what happened to him because we dated in high school and we just went ourselves. So I inboxed like, hey, are you Tony? And he inboxed me back like, hey, Yellow, where you been? And 2 weeks after that, because he was stationed in Texas. So 2 weeks after that, um, we was he was here. We spent like the whole week together, and we never been apart since.
Wow. 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 But I love that though, right? Because you wasn't like thirsty.
No.
Yeah. Y'all know I gotta just say it high. You understand what I'm saying? I gotta say.
We both, when our separate ways, experienced life and was both sick of what was out there.
Yeah.
And we never broke up on bad terms. He just went to the military, and I just stayed.
Yeah.
Ended up a
kid. Right. I love it. I love this. So now,
first,
come on now.
You gotta get you together first.
Yeah, because one of the ladies that was, or two of the ladies that was on the show last month, they called themselves Twisted Survivors, right? And I didn't understand. I'm like, Twisted Survivors. And what that meant was they were still with the person that, where they experienced the domestic violence. But here's the deal. And this is what, just in case, because when I shared this story with someone, they was like, oh, so they can change. Talking about the abusers. But what I had to help her understand is no, it wasn't that they changed. The women had changed. Because we literally teach people how to treat us. You see what I'm saying? And so what happened, even though they went back to the relationship, their now spouses knew, oh, we're not doing that. Not if you want to be with me. But oftentimes we don't change. We don't take the time to work on ourselves. And so we end up staying in.
If you want somebody to worship you and treat you right, you got to treat you right. You can't keep allowing them to keep doing what they doing to you, and you keep taking them back. They're gonna keep doing the same thing.
Yes.
And it was like a harsh reality that just hit me. Like, okay, yeah, you're right.
Right. Yeah. Like oftentimes we think people gonna treat us like we treat them. That's not what happens. They treat us depending on how we treat us. You know what I'm saying?
And even though what I experienced with my ex, like it took for me to heal and for me to forgive, because if I didn't, I even wrote the parole board for him to get out early because we were kids.
Right.
And he mimicked what he said.
Yeah.
I mimicked what I said.
About to run over that.
Us as women.
Right.
We know how to hit below the belt.
Repeat that.
Yeah, we hit below the belt. We know how to push them buttons. I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
It just continued on.
Right.
And it got worse.
Absolutely. Because one thing I don't like, because I had men come into me, talking to me because he's moving them and slinging them away. And I'm not, promoting any, violence, but I'm just saying we gotta own it. right? And stop acting like, yeah, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. And so now,
Yes,
yeah,
other kids, new kids are around.
yeah. And all because you changed.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because you changed, you healed, you went through your process.
Yes.
That is, I love it. What would you say to a young girl even now that may be experiencing any of the things that you have experienced, like from from in the streets and thinking that part is glorious to being stuck in a relationship?
You gotta learn to love you.
Yeah.
Until you know who you are, until you love who you are, you're gonna keep repeating those cycles.
Yeah, yeah. I want to pause first because I want for someone to call in and or send a message or whatever to because I want to be able to start giving the books out. We just have minor, I mean not minor, but little people in the audience because COVID. I want to make sure and so a selected few. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Um, um, so you talking about the at so that moment, I pretty much already knew that. I was gonna be the godmother anyway. Mm-hmm. But the losing it like that I heard really like losing people that you remember. So my goddaughter passed and she passed that was major blow.
How old was she? Was you at birth?
20. No, this just happened 2 years ago.
Okay.
2 kids.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry to hear that.
Wow. Mother and I were friends, god sisters. So her mother and I were friends. We met at no tide. I didn't know how to open up my locker, so she let me share a locker with her.
Oh, that's the one.
Mother and my mother used to skate together. Her mother used to skate with my mom and protect my mom at skating. Her mother would never let anyone mess with my mom.
Okay. Yeah.
So when we did have a falling out, my mom was like, I don't care what y'all go through, y'all can always be together. And that stuck with me for a long time because when my mother passed, I always wanted to keep my promises to her.
Okay.
I have to love you from a distance. You don't mean me no good.
Right. Okay. So you had to go through therapy.
Yeah, I've been through therapy a couple times.
Okay. Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Yes.
Here's a question I learned on social media site. My husband has never read my book. He was the first person to purchase it.
Who else? I really want to make sure. And if anyone calling, oh, that was boutique. I want to shift it up, but if you have questions and all of that stuff, but talk to us about the boutique. How did that come about?
So, the boutique came about. First, I got my granddaughter, and I call my granddaughter a diva. So that's where the name. So I said, if the Lord allowed me to live to see 42, I was giving my life back over to the person who created me, and I was gonna walk in my purpose because I knew I had a bigger purpose because my mother didn't make me. Okay. So my cousin, um, he had kept telling me like, and so my grandbaby was born, and then my youngest daughter was being bullied because of the way she was dressed. And so it just all happened all at once, just all hit like, okay, I'm gonna open up a boutique. I'm gonna make the clothes affordable for single mothers because I was that single mother who I needed to pay for so my kids can look nice. Okay. So I'm gonna get some nice clothes, affordable prices, so kids can feel good about themselves and their mothers, single fathers, can't break in their pockets to make it happen.
Right, right.
So that's how my boutique came about. Okay.
All right. If someone wants to go to the boutique just to look at it, what site is it?
It's Little Divas Boutique. Uh, CEO. Yeah, CEO.
Okay. Little Divas Boutique.
CEO.com. Yep,
Okay.
all one.
Okay. All one. All right. Any other questions? Anybody else in the audience? What's she in the back like? Don't be don't be putting me on blast. No. Okay. Um. What? So now you're getting ready to start speaking,
Yes.
right? And so again, I like how your cousin said to you, like, turn what you love to do into revenue, right? And a lot of times people don't realize that they could be sitting on, a million. Now you want to speak, so it's another thing.
So I didn't want to speak.
Oh, okay, okay.
So at one of my pop-ups that I did, there was a prophetess who came over to my table. She had literally items, and they were asking me like my prices, and I was telling the lady my price, and she was like, "For this whole outfit, $15. I just paid 45 over there for this same outfit." And I was like, "Well, crazy thing, backup story about me. I didn't start a boutique to be rich. I started a boutique to help, single mothers, college, whatever." Right. And she was like, "Oh my God, you heard, you heard." And I was like, "I'm cool." She was sorry. I know your background, and she was like, "Sign the pants for me. I want to buy them pants. Sign them pants for me."
Oh, she wanted you to sign the
So
pants?
she had me autograph the outfit, the bottom of the pants. She was like, "Wait till I tell my sister this. Wait till I tell my sister." And so I could just feel her energy and feel her spirit, and I was like, I had goosebumps and I was shaking. And she just came out of nowhere and was like, "Can I pray for you?" And I'm like, "Sure, sure." So she started praying, and she kept looking at my book, and her and her sister kept looking at it, and then they ended up walking away, going to another table, and then the spirit just was like, "Give her a book." So I autographed the book and I took it to her, and she like, "You about to make me run through here and pull my wig off? I'm about to start crying and everything." I'm like, "I'm just trying to be obedient." And so she was like, "You got a card?" And I gave her my card, and then she went around again, and then before she left, she came back. She was like, "I want you to start speaking. I want you to you. I want you to start speaking." And I'm like, "Okay," because I'm just thinking, she's just talking. She gonna walk out. And she caught no. 2 days later, we ran into each other again at games. We ran into each other, and then she was like, "Okay, I don't know what God trying to tell us, but He trying to tell us something." Because it was like right before I ran into her, I get back to work, her name pop up. I work in the doctor's office, and her name pop up, and I'm like, "Okay, this ain't no coincidence." And since then, she texts me like, "I want you to write a letter and send it to everywhere that you want to speak at." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." And I didn't. I'm like, "Yeah, all right, I'll do it." So, not being obedient, just like, so she texted me 2 days later. "Did you write your letter?" "Okay, let me write this letter." Write the letter and I send it off. And then a week later, she's like, "Did you call the people? You need to call them and follow up on them." So I'm like, she called me, texted me again. "Did you call them? Did you hear anything?" So I'm like, "Okay, let me start calling these people." And then after I call them, I speak to the one lady at the YWCA. And I'm so nervous. Like, I can do this all day long. Right. I can talk to somebody I know all day long, but like in front of me. So when I'm on the phone with her, I'm like tied up, tongue tied, what can't get my words out. So I just stopped and I was like, "I don't know how spiritual you are. I don't have an assignment, and I'm just trying to fulfill my assignment to get my testimony to let women know that there's light outside of that dark tunnel. They can come out of that. Yeah. It's nice on the other side. You can get married, you can feel love again, and all that can end." And she was like, "Wow." She was like, "You got a book?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "First, I want to say congratulations for surviving. Second, I want to say congratulations on your book." She's like, "Then give me all the days that you free." And it just happened. It just happened like that. Doors just opened right like that.
Yeah, because sometimes we need somebody else to come in, right, to kind of let us know. That's why when we talk about being independent, that's cool, but understanding that we're interdependent, and the importance of relationships. And if we find ourselves being stuck in one environment, with one group of people, we may hinder our own selves from really fulfilling our purpose because you didn't think about speaking. Somebody that you didn't even know said, seen it in you.
Right.
Wow.
And one of my prayers is divine connection.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is what I want you to be. Go ahead. We have a question.
All right, we got a question from social media, and they want to know what was the hardest part about writing. Um, it really wasn't hard. It was more so therapeutic. It was things that came up that I thought I was over, and I really wasn't. Like I remember sitting, especially when I wrote about my mom and her passing on my arms. Like I literally had to stop because I was crying and like so it was more so therapy. Um, so,
And I think too, what made it therapeutic is because you owned it. You committed to it, and no matter how much you were working, you committed to the time that was needed in order to do it. Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good. And that's what happens oftentimes too. Like when you start writing and different things come out. Like if you was writing, that paper would have been filled with tears. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it is therapeutic. It is, a healing process that you go through.
yeah, and I was already given the next title of my book, but I tried to do it myself.
Yeah.
And I can't do it myself. I was literally like, okay, I got the title, I know the format, I'm about to do this, I'm gonna write about this one, right? And then every time I tried it, I was shut down.
Right.
Every time I tried, I was shut down. I was going, okay, this ain't making no sense. I ain't doing this. And it's the more so I'm still going through it.
Yeah. Ooh.
I got the title, but I'm still going through it.
That's it. So when we talk about that hard part, right? Like if it's not coming out like that, maybe the story is not over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm living in the story right now.
Absolutely.
So I can't tell it.
Right. Ooh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Okay. Now you've experienced a lot of pain from various aspects, whether it was loss of loved ones, to loss of relationships. What would you say to those who are here and those who are watching? How do you cope with pain? How do you get through that process? Like, how did you get through your mom? I mean, I was just saying it.
Therapy.
Okay.
I did breathing.
Grief counseling. Yes.
Um, and I journal.
Yeah.
I journal a lot. A lot of my book, um, I didn't even know I was writing my book already, and I was journaling.
Yeah.
Because me and my mother, from when I was younger, we never really had that free will to talk. So it was always told if I needed to express myself, I couldn't tell my mother to write it. So we wrote letters to each other. I did the same with my kids. We write letters to each other if they can't express themselves. So a lot of my journaling was me writing letters to my mom, me writing about experience. Okay. I still do. No, yeah. I journal a lot.
Okay. Okay. Do we have another question? The questions are important, so even if in the midst of us talking, we'll pause.
A question on social media is there anything you wish you should have said or you wish you did say? Um, I mean, of course I left some things out of the book. Um, I didn't really go into detail about my street life. I didn't really go into a whole lot of detail of it. Um, but I do speak on it freely.
You mean like when you was in a strip club?
Like,
no, just
like when I was in in cars where drive-bys was going on, and getting into fights and having a gun. And,
right.
I did leave a lot of that out, but I do speak of it. Like I don't sugarcoat my truth because it's my truth,
Absolutely.
and I don't let nobody hold me to that.
Yeah.
Because that's who I was. That's not who I am.
Right, right. And so when I talk about, when I invite guests on the show, that's one of the things that I talk about, making sure that you're not underneath your story or still in the middle of your story. Because for you to be on top of your story, that's the state, right? Where you don't allow people to hold you back to that space. That's good.
No, no, because like you said, we all can change.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anybody can change.
Yeah, I know you shared with me you didn't understand the concept of my business.
I didn't at first. I didn't. I was just like, which one is that? And then, then when I really like sat down and I really thought about it, and I know part of your story from where you come from and from where I'm like, yeah, we really did change.
Right, right, right. And so if you notice, even here, right, it's actually you can change. So the can is in the change. Yeah. And it's really, helping individuals understand really, no matter where you start, it's about where you end. And even when we were children and we don't have, the authority or the say so about what family we were raised in or what environment we were raised in, at the end of the day, we can become the author of the remaining chapters of our book.
Right.
And so that's good. And you've done it.
Yeah, you don't have to. Your story ain't finished until he says it's finished.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, we have a question.
All right, we got another question. Ending. Someone wants to know, why didn't you cover your street life in the book?
Honestly, the reason why I did it is because I was writing so much and I was trying to fit so much into one book. I didn't want to do a series because my publisher was like, if I have so much, we would have to break it down to 2 books. So I didn't want to have 2 books. And it's a lot of the domestic violence that I went through. It's a lot of things that I didn't put in.
Okay.
Like it's a lot of other crazy things that I went through that I didn't speak on.
Right. Did you
I
ever?
was more so trying to fulfill my being obedient and just trying to fulfill my 9 days.
Right. Okay. Did you ever feel like, okay, I don't want to hurt anybody, so I don't want to put that in there because if they read the book, they may know I'm talking about them?
No, not really, because it's my truth. I have had people that tell me that if you know me, you know who's who in my book.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And I've had people to come back and tell me that I hurt their feelings. My book.
Okay. Okay.
But I can't apologize for my truth.
Right. Okay. And so you do have like different names in the book.
Yeah, all the situations in the book are true, but only my kids' names and husband and
What did you say about your husband in the book?
it was just more so like how we started and how we went our separate ways and how we never really fell off. We never really like argued. We still kept in touch with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So on the day that I buried my mother, I got a call from Hawaii, and it was him on the phone. His mother had told him that my mother died, and he was like, "I got a plane ticket if you want to leave and get away." But me, I'm like, "Yeah, oh baby, that's girl. No, I ain't about to. I ain't dealing with you." And here we are, married.
You got a question?
So someone else, I think they probably tuned in because they wanted to know if there were going to be more books, as well as, do you think you will go back and put in an ebook, because there will be some who may feel like they are not alone.
So my new, so
She just did a publisher. And she said because they may not be alone because they identify themselves with the street.
Mm.
so the new book that I have started, I can say that I'm already 2 chapters in.
Okay.
And in those 2 chapters, I do touch on more so of what I left out of the
I know what she said. She was saying basically like by leaving some stuff out, you may have missed some people. Is that basically what she was saying? In a way, in terms of the street life. Okay.
And with the street life, I can't really say a whole. I can't really say a whole lot
Cause she'll go to jail.
It's not even that I go to jail, but I was never really that. I was never really in it.
Okay.
I was behind the scenes.
Okay.
Like people thought of it.
Yeah.
You know, I had the car with the wheels with the music in it, and they always seen me dress. They thought it, but can't no one sit down and say, "Oh yeah, I did a drug transaction. I hurt you."
Right.
Because I had somebody else who did everything for me.
Okay.
Because the person that did everything for me was already like, if this is what you want to do, if anything happens, I'm gonna do that time.
Right.
I'm gonna take that consequence. Okay. You a mother, you ain't gonna do that.
Okay.
So I can't really speak about a whole lot of it because
look, she was out there. Yeah, she said that. I wasn't really out there. Somebody in the audience was like, she was out there. Just depends on who you looking, how you looking.
Yeah, I wasn't a center person.
Right. Yeah. You was smart though. A little bit.
It was more so you know, when you young and you wanna do what you see other people doing. But I had an older person around me that was like,
I understand, but we're not about to give them that game because some people probably still trying to figure out how to do it. No, we cool.
No,
right.
No.
That's not the life.
That ain't the life.
Now,
right.
Watch this. So you've been in the street life.
Because I've been to jail.
Right.
I've been to jail,
girl.
I've been. I ain't gonna say I've been to the county. I've been to the county.
Yeah.
And I knew then that it wasn't for me.
Right.
I knew being shackled to the person in front of me, getting on the striker bus, going to striker wasn't for me.
Right. Absolutely.
It wasn't for me, even though I never stayed a whole day or, you know, I stayed a couple hours. I knew it wasn't for me.
Right.
This ain't for me. This ain't what I like.
Right.
This ain't for me. My first time there getting processed in striker, I was about to go to the hole because the lady kept touching my leg. I'm like, you touch me one more time. I'm about to, we're gonna have a situation.
Right. But listen. Okay. So the book is My Unique Journey. What I want to know is, would you change the journey?
No.
No. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Because the journey is what taught me to get to where I am, and in order for me to tell my story, I have to go through this.
Ooh.
I can't tell you nothing I ain't been through.
Right. I love it. Oftentimes my kids ask me, they'll say, well, Mom, you know how it is to be in the street. Why you tripping? Da, 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 da. Right? Would you, when you think about where you've been and where you are now, would you trade that? Like, do you feel like you're boring now?
Yeah, my kids say I'm old all the time. They say I act old and I act boring.
Yeah. You probably are boring. I'm not boring. I'll still be like, hey, I ain't gonna even lie.
I ain't gonna say I'm boring. I'm just more so this generation now. It ain't for me.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm
gonna teach you how to have fun.
We was respectful. We respect our elders. No matter what we did, we still respect our elders.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, now I'll be the one to jail from one of these little kids. So
but that's not fun.
I'm gonna stay away. I'm gonna stay away from the clubs and all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
Now I go to comedy shows and that type of stuff. But club, I can't.
Yeah, no, that's not fun. That's not fun.
That ain't fun.
My girls in the audience looking at me now.
But I still turn up with my friends.
Okay.
I still turn up.
But your daughter still say you boring. Okay. Any other questions, y'all? Because the time is nearing. But again, My Unique Journey. Where can is it on Amazon?
Yes, it is on Amazon.
Yeah. Y'all got my producer out in the hallway with the signs up talking about some. Make sure dig deeper in that. No, dig deeper in what part? No, my producer outside. All right, no, but My Unique Journey. So you can purchase it on Amazon.
Yes, Amazon. It's on Amazon. They're not autographed copies.
Right.
If you are my friend on Facebook or link into me on Facebook.
What's your Facebook name?
Unique Johnson.
Okay, Unique Johnson on Facebook. So
you can message me and cash at me, and I will deliver.
Yeah.
Or send it out and it'll be autographed.
Okay. Okay. And so we still have. So those of you who I wanted people to call in, so they can be able to, so I can choose. But we'll give some books to the ones who ask the questions. How about that? Those who ask questions, if you would, what do I want them to do? Inbox? Can they inbox me their address and everything, and I will ship out the book to you, signed copies, and we'll go from there. But any last, I want you. It's something. I just feel like it's something else. I feel like it's something else. Like somebody is struggling right now. You know, like somebody literally is struggling.
Struggling in the domestic violence, you know.
Yeah. But sometimes I think we say it like, you know, just get out, right? And it don't be that easy.
It's not that easy.
Yeah.
It's not that easy. Because I learned how to survive in what I was in. Like my book, a lot of people don't even really know. Me and my kids was literally hostages in our own house.
Right.
We slept with our doors locked.
Right.
And that followed me for a while.
Right.
Even when I was married with my husband, I still was having like nightmares.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's not easy. But when you begin to see your kids go down the path you went, that's the worst feeling in the world.
Right.
Right. To see any of your kids go through what you went, or see your flaws in your kids. And it just became a point where my daughters have they were getting up in age, and it was I had to leave home.
Right.
And I remember my mother telling me, "He's gonna kill you if you don't get out. He's gonna kill you." And I remember his grandmother telling me, "Get out, or he's gonna kill you."
Wow. Absolutely.
But I never was scared of it.
Right.
I never was scared of it.
Right.
I never will.
Right. But that's a part
until
of that part.
Until the episode of till the last straw.
Right. So why should they read your book? What would they get out of it?
It's encouraging. It's the truth. It's raw and uncut. It's raw and uncut.
Yeah.
I don't sugarcoat nothing. It's raw. It's uncut. But at the end of it, it's perfect, and it shows you how you can what you can do coming out of it.
Right.
That's why the roller coaster for the road. But if you notice at the end, the light shines.
Oh yeah.
See, it's dark right here when you start. When you get to the end, the light shines.
Right. Absolutely. Y'all see that? Yeah. And so that's the thing. So I encourage those of you who may watch the replay, those of you who are watching now, you know, to purchase a copy of the book. You can reach out to Unique on Facebook. You can go to Amazon. If you want a signed copy, reach out to her on Facebook. And stay tuned. Stay tuned. Again, if you are someone that is struggling, right? I promise. We tell our stories, you know, from the back end. But sometimes we have to slow down, right? To say, wait, hold on, wait, it wasn't just that easy. I love the cover of this book because it is that roller coaster. Yes, ma'am. You have another question?
Someone just asked a question and they want to know what is the first step if you want to get out of a bad relationship.
So, the first step I took was I packed up me and my kids. I packed us up, and we went and stayed with a relative.
Yeah, and just to add to that, the first step is realizing or making it up in your mind you will not survive in that situation. You know what I'm saying? If you have kids, making up in your mind that this is not what you want your kids to experience, you know? Because before you even step out, you had to make up in your mind like, oh no, You know.
like I and two, he went to prison.
Ah, okay.
So it
That's
was
different.
he was
Yeah.
a prison also.
Mhm.
But prior to then, I had already moved my kids out of the
Okay.
situation.
Yeah.
I had already moved my kids, and I was in the process of moving in. Just
So
so
you moved your
happened,
kids out first.
I moved my kids out.
Okay.
And then
Wow.
I was at home. My car was in the shop, and whenever he broke in, we never heard it.
Mhm.
And so for this night, I was the only one in the house, and I heard like this loud noise. So I jumped up and I locked the door, and I went up underneath the bed, and I called 911. And I'm underneath the bed. All this time, I'm not knowing that it's him. I'm thinking somebody really broke into my house. So I could hear the person walking around through my house while I'm laying up underneath the bed. And I'm talking to 911, and you can hear me on the tape, like, Lord, please cover me, please. Like, I'm praying while I'm talking to 911 on the phone. And the person, my door knob jingled to my bedroom. And I said, the person is at my door. I didn't know at the time it was a police officer already on the scene who was running around my house. And he was flashing a light on the windows. So he seen the light flash on the window and he pushed the door in. He said, "Me, why you call the police?" And I slammed the phone on. I hung up on 911. I came from up underneath the bed. I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And before I could do anything, the police was at the door, and his eyes was big. He was foaming at the mouth. He was sweating, and he pulled out a gun and he said, "If you tell him I'm here, I'm gonna shoot you in me." And 3 days before that, he had just burnt me in my arm, put a black and mild out. So I screamed, and the police as they was coming up, he was running in the bathroom. He had tossed the gun in my daughter's room. He was running in the bathroom, flushing stuff down the toilet, and they arrested him and took him outside. So I'm downstairs, and the detective that was just there 3 days before was like, "We've been trying to get him. He's been torturing her because it was like something every day. Like I wasn't staying there, but I would go home and check on my house, and like, my couch was on fire, and like all different types of stuff." And so as I'm talking to the detectives, my phone rang, and it's him. So I'm like, "This him calling me." He in a car in cuffs calling me on the cell phone. So they take it back and they tell him like, "Don't bother." As soon as he get downtown, he'll process the call.
Yeah.
And I knew then, like I said, I never was scared of him. That was the first I said, "He's my kid." That was my breaking point.
Okay. 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 Yes. You have another question.
Another person asks on social media, and they want to know, do you feel free?
Yes, absolutely.
Someone else wanted to know, how long is too long to stay if you are scared in a relationship with no parent?
Yeah, yeah. If it's you gotta get out of it. You gotta love you. You gotta walk away from you. In some eyesight, it's like, is this worth my life?
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
Do you love them that much that it's worth your life?
Wow. Wow. And the other part too, that's sad. Because if you feel like you have no family, right, and you're scared and you don't have anywhere to go, that's still what I call blocking beliefs, right? Because there's help. You
Yeah,
know, there's help.
there's help. There's help, and it was I went through a lot of stuff that I didn't tell my family because of the fact that my family was always running to my rescue, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
doubling back,
Mm-hmm.
running to my rescue, and I'm doubling back. And I was not, I didn't live in domestic violence. My mother and my father went through domestic violence when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it.
Right.
And I just remember them saying, I remember my mother telling my family, they didn't. She didn't want to be the reason why my father did.
Mm.
And I remember telling my family,
Wow.
I don't want y'all doing nothing to him because I still want to keep him alive.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it wasn't until my grandfather told me, when you're done, don't come tell me until you're done.
Right.
And that night I was calling my grandfather and said, okay.
Right.
My grandfather said, okay. And I said, let's go.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. That's
But we did, we we dated, we had a kid, and we were separated for 7 years.
mm-hmm.
And I doubled back. I had another kid and everything.
Mm.
I doubled back. He was in jail. Taking my daughter to visit him in jail. My daughter asked one of the family. She came to dad. And he's not a bad person.
Right. That's what we say.
He wasn't a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like 7 years, okay, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you matured.
Absolutely.
And then it was the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
But I said that's what we say, right? Because we say things that keep us in situations. Because when you're in a domestic violence situation, it's not about whether or not they're bad or not. You know what I'm saying? It's whether or not you're safe. You know what I'm saying? But we tell ourselves like, okay, wait, they're because we fell in love with the good person. We didn't fall in love with the one that was blocking your eye and doing all that stuff. So oftentimes we're looking for that person again, and that person may not be there anymore. But it's interesting that you said you double back. Wow.
I double back, and I didn't know that he had a substance abuse either.
All right. So, all right. Any other questions before we go, you guys? It's 7:09. So, yeah. What'd you say? You said we went over. This is live, right? So we can go over. No, no, but that's powerful though. I mean, because those who are watching, I just want to make sure that they get some takeaway, right?
Yes.
That they leave with something because people are suffering in silence.
Yes. And that's the one thing that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You don't want to do. No matter what you think somebody might think, no matter what you think somebody might feel, if you love you and you not ready to die, you don't want to be in this situation, tell your story.
Right.
Get some help.
Yeah.
Get some help.
Yeah. And the thing is that you weren't even afraid.
No,
you see what I'm saying? So that's the other thing, right? Like other people can be afraid for us. You know what I'm saying? But because you have made this dysfunctional, toxic situation functional, it's like you don't even realize that you are in danger. So those of you again, the number 419-214-9366. Counseling is available if you are stuck, if you feel like you don't have anyone. Reach out. We have counselors, that are available to help you with grief counseling, mental health counseling to help you deal with depression, anxiety, relationship counseling. Maybe if some relationship counseling could have happened earlier on, some things could have been prevented.
Yeah, me and my husband, we went to marriage counseling.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Awesome. 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 Okay. Anything else? All right. So kudos to you guys for assisting and coming through and asking us the questions. And thank you again. Thank you for sharing your story. I absolutely believe that some life was touched, somebody was healed, somebody got some great insight. So again, thank you. And my unique journey, you can get it. You can inbox Unique Johnson on Facebook. You can get it from Amazon. We still have signed copies. We will go through our social media and reach out to those who was on and sent out books to randomly selected people. That's what we do. Thank you again.
Oh, thank you.